ever since SummerSlam, Dominick Mysterio, Rey Mysterio's son, has been having a great impact in terms of his ability to wrestle as well as his presence on TV. The past couple of weeks on Raw, he's faced in tag team matches as well as a street fight with Murphy this past Monday on Raw, which was a great match, by the way. And now this coming Monday, he's going to face Seth Rollins in the main event once again, but this time in a steel cage. Now, it's been confirmed earlier this week that Dominick Mysterio, is being booked as one of the top faces on Monday Night Raw because he's getting so much praise backstage from the higher-ups, even Vince himself. Now, since he just started for now almost a month, so is he already the next upcoming star on Raw?
Well. See. Let me help you out here, Rich. I think he's the best. Well, he might actually be the greatest second generational superstar at his age that we have ever seen. He's only 23. This man has put on a show ever since he debuted, and he has been nothing short of amazing. I mean,
he's been putting on a show since he was 5.
I'm sorry?
He's been putting on a show since he was 5.
Yeah.
8.
Hey, listen.
8.
Oh, yeah. With that, yeah.
8.
You know what? Yeah. That I forgot that feud he had with Eddie and Ray back in the day, man. That was a fire feud.
Oh, please. These niggas in this generation don't know how great that was.
This generation don't know what we're talking about.
Know.
Run the tape. As a matter of fact, get the network. Maybe they have it on the network. I don't know.
No. They do. They do. I was watching it the other day.
All right. Good. So needless to say, this man has put on a show. All right. Not to mention, did y'all see his debut match, his actual debut match against Seth Rollins, where he had on a backpack and his mommy and daddy were there to see him off? Like that. I mean, think about what he went from, like the little kid to that, right? And then we see what he can do in the ring, right? And this dude looks just like his father. If his father was like 6'5", 200 pounds, like that's what Ray would be. You know what I mean? So he clearly has the talent. He clearly has the training. And right now he deserves to be. And think about it, guys. His push, we don't hate him. You know what I mean? Like, we don't say like, oh yeah, this is just another WWE project that we don't care about. We actually do fuck with him because he's that, like, he's legit.
We grew up with this nigga.
I don't want to say he's big time yet, right? I mean, we grew up, but I don't want to say he's big time yet because there are levels to this. But obviously, he's shown that, hey, listen, you have guys like maybe Velveteen Dream, right, and MJF. But put me in that class too, right? Because I'm really good too. Like, I'm better in some cases, better than those guys in the ring, and I can hold my own, right, on the mic. So to me, this guy has proven not only can he hang, but he can hang, and that is what I'm impressed with, man. Already the greatest second generational superstar at his age. Right, when you look at the, like, Bret Hart, Randy Savage, right? Were they this good at 23? I don't know, because I wasn't watching wrestling back then. But to me, you know, it definitely, like, Dominick Mysterio obviously is much more known than those guys now because of the social media age that we live in. But make no mistake about it, this dude is big time, man. If he keeps this up, there's absolutely no reason why we wouldn't see him featured as one of the main guys on the show, and he deserves it.
Yeah, before I get into Dominic, I gotta give credit to Rey Mysterio, right? Because this man trained his. If there's a beauty into all of this, is that a father trained his son from jump, from ever since that rivalry with Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. Rest in peace, bro. Right, and we saw Dominic at age 7. You knew at age 7 Dominic was going to be in the game, right? You could tell he loved WWE. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Before you continue, Ray actually said in an interview that Dom didn't come. You didn't show any interest in wrestling until recently, until like maybe a year ago or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
That's when he said, "Okay, yeah, Dad, I want to do this." And then Ray was like, he was happy, so he came into the wrestling. So officially, this man has only been wrestling for what, a little less than a year or maybe 2 years.
Just
and
about
he's already this great.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. And plus, I'm giving credit to Rey Mysterio because like he literally taught his son from jump. Literally, we grew up with Dominic. It's crazy how the years went by. I felt old seeing him again. I was like, shit, right? But it's not the point. But the thing is, Dominic has a real chance. I can't believe I'm saying this. He has a real chance to surpass his father. And
it's a big chance, actually.
Listen to me. He has a real chance to surpass 2 Hall of Famers. That is Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. He has a legitimate shot. Here's why. At 6'5", like you can't teach height, but at the way he is at 6'5", he's a taller version of Rey Mysterio. He could talk better than Rey Mysterio, and that's the beauty for me. The fact that he could carry himself in a rivalry better than Rey Mysterio, especially in an era where social media is big time, right? It is huge. He could conduct himself with possibly top names like where he's doing it right now with Seth Rollins. The future is fucking bright for this man. Like,
hey, remember, he did it earlier. He did it earlier with Brock too.
Oh yeah, exactly. With Brock Lesnar, I forgot about that. He did it. No. It's okay. It's okay. He did it.
No.
He got his ass. Listen.
Yeah, that one. He got his ass whipped.
Bro, listen to me. It doesn't matter. No. Listen to me. I got him, Kenny.
He got his ass whipped on both of those with Seth and Brock.
But the thing is,
it doesn't matter.
Richard. Listen.
I know.
Richard,
you look fucking good.
Shut up.
That's
Richard,
the thing. You look fucking good.
The thing is, he knows how to sell. He knows how to sell himself in the game of WWE. So the fact that we got a man who's a taller Rey Mysterio, who could talk better than Rey Mysterio, that could sell better than Mysterio and arguably Eddie Guerrero. And the beauty about this is because he's 23, we are waiting of when he literally becomes his own man. Right now, they're doing the family gimmick. Wait till this man steers away from that and he becomes Dominic. Like straight up, just Dominic. Letting go of the Mysterio name and just because him. Wait until that evolution happens. That's just gonna be beautiful. Watch when that happens. That's just gonna be nice.
I don't think he's gonna get rid of his name because that's like I think it's like a cultural thing, like as far as like wrestling and stuff. Like he's gonna always homage, and he's always gonna be a part of that. And I think he's gonna pay like great homage to that.
No. What I was saying about that is like let me take The Rock for example. When The Rock came into WWE, he was doing his like the Samoan heritage, the Rocky Maivia and shit like that, right? But towards the Attitude Era, he changed his whole game. The persona, the skills, the mic work, like that. That's what I'm talking about. Just doing it like that, his own man. But for sure, I agree with you. He's never gonna let go of that name. I just wanted to see it like that.
I think it's always gonna be Dominic Mysterio, but I think what's going to be great about it is that they're not gonna say he's Rey Mysterio's son. You're gonna just say Dominic, as opposed to just Rey Mysterio's son. I mean, Rey Mysterio has always been so great, and I think it's just so cool that now like the newer generation has Dominic. And you know, it feels like Rey Mysterio has been trying to like retire for some time now. So
badly. That nigga been trying to retire so bad.
Like he wants to like, and I feel like this is like, but he didn't want to retire until his son got a footing into the wrestling business. And I think it's just so great that, you know, we're able to see someone like Dominic, like literally 20 years, like 15 years later, and we're still like, oh shit, like that's pretty cool, like that's freaking dope. I mean, you knew from like the beginning, like honestly, genetic wise, you knew this guy was going to be a great wrestler like later. Like this is just one of those things that it's like it's like kind of like a fairy tale that we expected.
Yeah, I also want to add that like people might think that I'm blasphemous into saying that he might surpass Eddie Guerrero, but like, I see it. He has the swag. He has the swag. He got the wrestling ability. Like, and to be honest with you, he's more athletic than Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero at age 23.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
I mean,
the proof is the
proof is there.
Yeah, you're right. The eye test, eye test, and don't. I mean, listen. It's easy to get lost in the eye test, but the eye test says it all, right? But I think you should hold off on the Eddie thing at least until he gets to be his own man, just like you alluded to earlier. I think the more a comparable comparison right now would be to his peers. What is a guy like MJF doing? Like when you see MJF, he's 23, 24, right?
Yeah. Like
that guy's obviously a staple in the wrestling industry, and you can see that he's going to be here for a long time. A guy like Velveteen Dream, another guy. I mean, yeah, he's been in the news for a lot of wrong reasons, but underneath it all, when you look at that, he is, a generational talent, and I think that that's a more comparable comparison to Dominic right now. He's the next level, he's coming up in that class, the class of MJF, the class of Velveteen Dream and himself. And I know I'm missing a few others, but Sammy Guevara's in there too, right? Like these guys are going to be the guys that, reshape wrestling into like 20 years from now.
Yeah.
You're going to these guys are going to be big names.
And what I like about this is that I would speak for all of us saying this wasn't rushed. It's natural, it's not something that they've made up. And
exactly.
It's practically, don't get me wrong. What I'm gonna give a little bit credit to Vince, but obviously the majority of it goes to Rey Mysterio. But the majority of it goes to Rey Mysterio. But the reason why I'm giving a little bit of credit to Vince is that I respect Vince of keeping that, of having consistent wrestling family relationships with other people.
Well, I mean, you can give Vince credit in that, but I think it sells. So obviously he's going to care about that. But to me, I think the most important thing.
Breaking up, bro.
About what you said, organically over superstar. He's the most organically over superstar in the company right now.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, I agree with Eric. I agree with everyone else here. The family thing pretty much sells itself. You don't really need to credit Vince anyway, because it's been going on for decades, even going way back to the 80s and stuff with the Hearts, because the Hearts was the one that started it all. But yeah, family sells itself when it comes to wrestling. And on that note, welcome to episode 35 of the Wrestling Hypothesis for your Sunday, September 13th, 2020. Unfortunately, Abba won't be able to make it with us today. He'll be back next week, so I'm hosting the show instead. My name is Richard. Joining us always is King Kenny.
In the flesh, let's go.
Ricardo.
I'm finally number one in the intros, man.
What's up, y'all?
Ricardo and the First Lady, Tara.
Hello, beautiful people.
So you can always listen to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or any other streaming services that you have to listen to us. Along with that, you can listen to us on our recent episode of Wrestling Hypothesis Extra on YouTube, as well as give us a follow on our Instagram page. Now, along with that, this past Tuesday, was it Tuesday or what? Actually, Wednesday. Sorry, Wednesday. This past Wednesday, there was a big debut on AEW, the debut of Miro, formerly known as Rusev. He was shown as Penelope Ford's and Kip Sabian's best man for their upcoming wedding that most likely they're going to show on AEW. And with that, the minute that he signed with AEW, the wrestling fans went crazy. The fact that it's about damn time he's going to be in AEW. Now, since it's been a couple of days later, should we care that he signed to AEW? Kenny, starting off with you.
Honestly, there are a lot of things because I believe we did a segment on Rusev a couple of maybe a few weeks ago when we were in PA, Ricardo, about
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Right, about his inability to
Excuse me.
to not only draw in fans, but make us believe that he can actually be a legit player.
Yeah.
And I can specifically remember me being against Rusev being not against Rusev being a major big time player, but I said that he needed to show more.
Right.
I believe there's a lot of, and this might come as a surprise to a lot of people, but I believe there's a lot of potential for Rusev in AEW, and I think we should definitely care about him signing. I mean, we knew this was coming.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna go out on a limb and say that, oh yeah, like he's gonna be the one to consistently keep AEW afloat in the ratings for years to come, but the talent is there, man. The talent is there, and there is no scripted promos in AEW too. So he'll get the freedom to do whatever he wants, at least in terms of a talent, from a talent's perspective. So I definitely think that this is a big deal. This is definitely a big deal for AEW, and they needed somebody to come in, at least a fresh face for the men's division, because at this time, Jon Moxley is just running through the whole division like it's nothing, And look, mad respect to Jon Moxley, man, but he should not have won that match against MJF.
I agree.
But needless to say, it was done. Okay, it was done, and that's that. And we got to respect it. But Miro, go ahead, Tara.
I think it literally goes back to that area where when we were discussing that they're still a relatively new company and they need someone that is a little bit more solid before MJF can come in. But also, I think it also draws a little bit more heads when you have as your main headliner 2 WWE superstars.
Yeah,
you're not wrong there.
Yeah, true. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm not as much.
You don't give a shit. You can say that.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. I don't give a rat's ass because it's like what Kenny always says. What have you done for me lately? You feel me? How long has he hasn't been wrestling? How long?
He hasn't been wrestling since I let go of him in March.
All right, March. All right, since COVID. Okay.
Since COVID.
Since COVID. So he hasn't wrestled since COVID. 6 months. Yeah, I got you.
6 months. 6 months.
Good luck, Kenny. But he hasn't wrestled in 6 months. Right? He hasn't wrestled in 6 months. All he's been doing is just been chilling, doing Twitch. I'm not gonna front. I follow him. He's fire. but he hasn't been wrestling. He hasn't been wrestling since. So he might be a little rusty in the ring. And I think for him, because Kenny, you said he has the freedom to do whatever he wants in the AEW. I respect that. But if there was one thing that he should work on, I'm not questioning his talent in the ring because we already know how great he is. But I'm questioning on how he would conduct himself now. I want to see that. Right? As of right now, I'm not a big fan of Rusev at AEW. I'm like, okay, he's in AEW, but what you gonna do? Right? I need to see more what Rusev now Miro is gonna do. Thank you. And what Miro's gonna do in AEW. But as of right now, for him to be the best man, I don't really care for him being the best man. I really wanted him to come in to AEW as Miro just to start off with a bang.
Right. I definitely do agree there. The storyline he's in right now, it shouldn't
weak.
Be, it's kind of weak. So I definitely do get that.
Go ahead, Ty. Yeah, it's weak, but I mean, I don't know. I also kind of feel like, I mean, it's his first week. I feel like they probably wanted a different approach because, let's be real, you can't, every single WWE superstar that you bring over, you can't just gas up. I mean, Rusev is a big name, but it's not like you know what I mean? You can't have the same approach to literally everyone. Like everyone can't be this person.
But
and I think this is where his character way kind of comes in, like his characteristics. I feel like WWE tried to push him in a direction that really wasn't working for them and wasn't working for him, and that kind of like held him back a lot, and probably held him back as far as like what he could actually do. So I mean, I'm interested to see what he's actually going to do with AEW. I'm interested only because I feel like he spoke about how he could have been someone big, and honestly, he was able to become trending, like literally a trending superstar over a freaking character that no one even gave a shit about, or he didn't give a shit about, and that he didn't really like. People gave a shit about a character that he didn't give a shit about. So you know what I mean? Like I'm like, it'll be interesting to actually see him, see what it'll be like for him to have a character that he actually gives a shit about and cares to actually work on.
I agree with you with everything that you just said, but the only disagreement I have is that, like, in wrestling, no matter when a WWE superstar gets released or they quit from WWE, and whenever they go to a new company like an AEW or a TNA or Ring of Honor, you got to start off with a bang, right? That's been consistent over the years. Like when
I see what you're saying.
When Brody Lee got released from WWE, and when he came into AEW, he gave us all our attention. He started off with a bang. That's what I expected from Rusev, due to the fact that he's the main event talent, like we all said he truly is.
That happened to Matt Hardy as well.
But and Matt Hardy to a lesser degree. But when he came in,
but like you see, the trend is like you see what I'm saying. It's like you can't give every WWE superstar, I feel, like that same exact like entrance. So I feel like if they're trying to like, I guess like their approach, if they are going for that, is to differentiate themselves. And at like a certain point, it kind of just looks petty, and it's like, I mean, yeah, like we get that they're being petty, but it's like, you know, at the same time, it's like, oh, like, you know what I mean? I feel like people don't care even more about him coming in because it's like, oh, another WWE superstar. Like, we get it.
No. The reason why people like me don't care is the way he came in, right, into AEW, and the way you come in into a new company. It says something on how you possibly might be used or how you're viewed, right? But the way he came in as the best man for Ford and whatever the guy's name is, I don't give a damn about him. But like
Sabian.
Yeah, whatever his name is, I don't give a damn. Like the way he came in, it was severely weak, right? And that's why you have folks like me that like we don't really care. I need to see more. So I'm like, for right now, I'm gonna pump the brakes on how he might be used or viewed in AEW. But as of right now, it remains to be seen. We just gotta wait and see.
You expected better.
Yes.
Well, I do have to agree with Ricardo on this one. I did expect for Miro to have much of a bigger impact of coming into AEW, but I also have to agree with Tara's point of view, because now she has some good points. Because
nah, man, pick a side, bro. Okay.
I already told you.
This ain't.
Look. I already said it.
I'm talking to Rich.
Oh, you're talking to Rich. My fault.
But both of them said very, very good points.
I'm talking to
Kenny,
Rich. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know, but Kenny, to be honest with you,
oh yeah. But I agree with Tara. Because y'all. I know, but I don't listen. He has a mind of his own. Okay, he can pick a side.
All right, so Richard, do you give a shit?
That's all I'm saying.
So let me ask you a question, Richard. Do you give a shit or not about Rusev being in AEW? Do you give a shit or not?
Honestly, no. I'm just waiting. Cool. I'm just waiting to see what he's going to do next.
That's why you're my nigga.
For now.
Exactly. For now.
Okay.
That's right.
So as we already know, Brock Lesnar is now a free agent. It's still even though it's only been 2 weeks since he's been a free agent, it's still big time news. Now, like, so a lot of people, including people from AEW, like Chris Jericho, Dustin, Cody, JR, they all saying, Chris Jericho specifically saying how he's not quite too sure if Brock Lesnar will be a profound fit in AEW. Like 100%. Because the reason why he's saying that is because he has Paul Heyman by his side, and the fact that Paul Heyman is in another company and he's in AEW, exactly. Yup. So
no, keep going, but go ahead.
So, like, a lot of people saying that in AEW he won't be a good fit, but what do you think? Like, will Brock Lesnar, if he does go to AEW, do you think that he will be a perfect fit in the company?
Kenny, may I go first on this?
I'm glad you asked, but no.
Wait, is that no for me or no to the question?
No, he said no to you.
Okay,
to
cool.
you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
damn.
Man, to you.
I wanted to go first.
I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, buddy,
right.
but there are
Right,
levels to this, okay?
Go ahead.
Respect
What
the
you
game. Anyway.
Okay, bro. Go ahead, man.
Brock, no, he's not gonna be a great fit for AEW because he's exactly what they don't need. He's like Brock. Like this is Brock is not he's not exactly a he's a game changer for sure, but from this standpoint, I don't think he's a great fit just because he doesn't fit what they do as a company, which is dedicated on wrestling, specifically wrestling. So for me, that would be a solid no. But AEW should still think about getting him, and here's why. This past week, right, you can say, yeah, they didn't have any head-to-head competition against NXT, but that's NXT's benefit, not AEW's gain. So for me, they're going to be consistently over 1 million in the ratings. I think we all know at least 900K, 800K. It shouldn't be any less than 800K.
Well, they actually hit 1 million on Wednesday.
We know.
I
That's
know,
why he said that.
But I'm saying, consistently, I don't think they're going to be hitting 1 million every single week. I think it's more likely that they hit 800 plus, right? So for me, if this is about building your company, if this is about, making sure that you get the best optimal talent, right? And we can all agree that Brock is up there. If this is about making sure that, hey, we not only care about wrestling, but we do actually care about entertainment too. I think Brock, from that standpoint, will be a great fit. But like I said, it's not really AEW's MO to go out and get a splash signing like that. At least not to my recollection. So to me, he's not a great fit. Just because I don't think he fits the agenda. But from a business standpoint, you should definitely, like, if I were Tony Khan, I'd think about, I'd really, really go out and contact Brock Lesnar's people and try to get him to sign, because that means my brand, I'm doing Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live's number week to week on Wednesday nights. Why wouldn't I want that? So for that reason alone, I'd flock to Brock. I'd get him. I sign him.
I'm also gonna say no, but different. I'm saying no differently from Kenny. I agree with Kenny in terms of, like, if you're AEW, you can't ignore Brock Lesnar. It's impossible. You can't ignore a man like that level of talent in Brock Lesnar, who's a generational talent as far as I'm concerned in wrestling. But other than that, here's why I say no. I say no, that I don't think AEW should sign him, because I don't think AEW will allow him to dictate the terms based on his moves. The one who controls the questions controls the conversation. When Brock Lesnar returned in 2012, he controlled the entire situation on how he returned to WWE, on becoming a part-timer, come and goes as he please, the pay money. I mean, not the pay money.
No, you're right. It is the pay money counts too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I mixed myself with something else, but like, thank you, Richard. How he gets paid, how he shows up, the terms of his contract and shit like that. AEW's not gonna fly with that, right? It's either for AEW, just like what Kenny says, is about the wrestling. It's either you're in or are you out. They're not hiring any part-timers here. I don't think they're gonna go that route in terms of for Brock Lesnar. Now, for me, if I'm Brock Lesnar, I got 2 options. No, 3 options. I'm sorry. I would still stay in WWE. I will go back to the UFC for a short term, or just retire. Right? Because for AEW, they have a different atmosphere in terms of wrestling that I don't think Brock Lesnar would personally like. Whereas in WWE, he has a good relationship with Vince. In UFC, he has a good relationship with Dana White. Or he could just retire and just chill out. He's chilling out right now. We haven't seen him since Mania. Right? So those are his 3 options to me. I don't see him in AEW at all, personally.
Agreed.
He either would stay with WWE, return to the UFC for the heavyweight division, or just retire.
I don't see him in AEW at all, and I don't think it is a smart idea to sign him, only because, well, one, I don't think, like you guys said, I don't think Brock's agenda really fits with AEW, and I think AEW's agenda doesn't really fit with Brock. Also, I don't think he's going to bring in a lot of that creativity standpoint other than what he's been with. So let's be real. He's been with WWE for so long that he is WWE. You know what I mean? And I feel like WWE style of doing things in wrestling isn't AEW's. It doesn't mesh well.
Agreed.
And I feel like it doesn't make sense for him to come into an area of like where that is, because they're literally going to have to be dictating everything move by move. And let's be real, AEW is not that kind of company. That's number 2. Number 3, I feel like Brock may bring in the name for a headline for like a good 2 weeks, but I feel like Paul Heyman is a huge part of who he is. And even though it'll be hot for like 2 weeks, your ratings will be up for 2 weeks, I feel like it's going to slowly dwindle down after like it's kind of not as entertaining with Paul Heyman, because that's what we were used to seeing him with. It's Paul Heyman.
Well, here I agree but disagree. I agree with you that like Brock Lesnar, I mean, we've seen Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman for a significant amount of time. We see him with that. But here's how I disagree. It brings me back to what Kenny said in our last convo about AEW having the freedom towards their wrestlers. If there's one thing that Brock Lesnar successfully does for himself is having freedom, right? His name was elevated when he was by himself when he was in the UFC. The UFC and AEW are extremely similar to having their stars have the necessary freedom that they have to uplift their name, right? They're extremely similar in that, and they've been doing that for AEW's been over like a year and a half, almost 2 years. And for UFC, they've been doing that for decades, obviously. For Brock Lesnar, for Brock Lesnar, I think if he goes to AEW, he'll use the necessary freedom to to elevate himself AEW if he chooses to do that. Despite me thinking that he's not going to go.
Honest, as far as the matches in the past few years, I don't think Brock can hang with the new talent with the talent of AEW.
Whoa! Time out!
No. Let her finish.
If you're looking at the past few years, like he literally he does not give a fuck about wrestling. Like he really has not even been like trying in any of his matches. He like a lot of the matches that he's provided, it was like you can't even say that they're like A-list matches. Like, yeah, like the name brought people in, but they weren't like great matches if you really look at that. And the people that are in AEW, like a lot of these guys are they're the top. They're kind of like the creme de la creme of like wrestlers right now.
Yeah,
Like that's what
you're not.
AEW brings, and it's like, you know what I mean. Like I feel like for Brock with his age and like his not giving a fuck, like he would have to literally condition himself for a good amount of like at least I would say like 7 to 8 months before he even like thinks about going toe to toe and actually putting on a match. And then he's also gonna have to be a team player. Like let's not forget when he was like in freaking WWE, when like he was assigned to put talent over, he kind of had issues with that. And I think one of them was like Braun Strowman, where Braun Strowman accidentally like messed up a move or whatever, and he like literally wanted him buried, and we didn't see Braun Strowman for like a few weeks, like months after that. In AEW, that's not going to be the same thing. Their whole thing is putting over new wrestlers. Their whole thing is to like create new talent and push things. That it doesn't, like, I don't think Brock can really hang with that, in all honesty.
Okay, that's a great point. I got no arguments with that. First time ever, right? I think that's the first time ever.
Yeah, I know.
I understand on why you think that way, and you bring up very good points because of the lack of how can I say this, commitment of him elevating stars due to his recent years in WWE. To me, that's
but
like
also his matches in this previous years.
No, I get it.
What match has he had previously that you're like, it? Like Kenny said, what have you done for me recently?
I get it. I feel you. But like, well, the last time I've seen him in a like legitimate match was I think it was either against AJ Styles or Daniel Bryan. I forgot, it was one of those two.
It was AJ.
Right? It was AJ?
AJ.
It was AJ? Okay.
AJ.
But like, I think I don't know if it's a lack of commitment. You could say there's a lack of commitment, and rightfully so. What I would
when he tried in that match, like, and I like, from my standpoint, I was like, wow, he's still so boring.
The thing is, okay. I would say that
carried that match.
My sister, let me speak. Like, I understand why you feel that way. But if there's one thing I will never doubt about Brock Lesnar, is that when he tries in a great match, that shit is money.
AJ Styles is a great match,
I will never question Brock Lesnar when he tries in a good match. I will never question that. And I'm talking about with anybody. I don't care. Even despite his age, despite how he is, when if I'm Tony Khan and I walk up to Brock Lesnar like, yo, I need you to put up an A+ match against Kenny Omega, I'm telling you that nigga would do it. He would do it.
No, because like you had AJ Styles, and it was like it's the same match. Because like literally with Finn Balor, even with Daniel Bryan, it's like King Kong versus like a tiny human. And it's
that's what it's always like that. It's been like that for years.
No, but it is. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it's tired. It's like, you know, AEW already has that person. Like, I feel like, and that person, I feel like that's like Murder Hawk. Honestly, that's literally like Murder Hawk.
Hold up. I don't even view Murder Hawk.
Ricardo, let me stop you right there, bro. She got this.
She got it.
It's not even close, because here's why. Murder Hawk has been booked just like Brock. He barely loses, right? He's number 1 in the rankings now. He tears through everybody. That's what he does. Okay.
And his finishers.
She's not saying that talent for talent, that's Brock Lesnar. She's saying he does the same thing he does. That's it. And that's all you need. You don't need any more than that. That's pretty much it. That's your Brock Lesnar. You don't need to go out and get Brock Lesnar.
Because you have a Brock Lesnar already.
Right, but I'm just saying from a talent standpoint and from a money standpoint, from a business standpoint, that's the only way I see it. But from a wrestling standpoint, it makes no sense to acquire Brock Lesnar, which you said, Ricardo.
I said that too.
Yeah.
I said that too. But based on Tara's point, the only disagreement I had was that I would never question him when Brock Lesnar tries. That's all I'm saying. I would never.
Yeah, when Brock Lesnar tries, he's the best. He's the best.
He's the best. I don't want to hear that.
I think the only person I'll put over him is probably maybe Kenny Omega, AJ Styles, to name a few. But
No, but
like
but
Brock
that's
is
what I'm
really,
saying.
really good when he's on.
When he's
No,
serious.
no. But I'm saying, look at the past few years. Like, what have you done?
No,
And what
right.
he's
Get that.
tried in the past few years, it was not anything like impressive.
But to really
That's
to
why
defend
it's
Brock
like,
here, he has ran through the whole he's ran through the whole company. Like there's like you face a guy like Braun, you've already faced him already. You faced a guy like, I don't know, Samoa Joe. Like he's already ran through everybody. There's no match. There's no possible matchup we could have right now that would be.
If you're headlining and like wrestling is like really your thing, and you're going against someone like AJ Styles. AJ Styles has been in the company for like so long as Brock. And like he's still like, you could still look at an AJ Styles match and be like, AJ still has it. But if you look at Brock, you're not looking at Brock like, like, you know what? Like, you're looking at his name and you're looking at what he did in the past, but you're not looking at his like previous stuff. Like his previous stuff, it's like, it's kind of boring.
True, but you're looking at two different superstars with two different accolades.
His latest stuff,
You're looking at two different superstars on how they treat themselves in the ring. One's a powerhouse, one's a technical wrestler.
No.
Carter, let me help you out. Right, but that's not even it. Right, exactly. That the energy part. But let's not make any mistake about this, guys. Brock has never really actually tried in his career. Like even when he was, going up against Big Show and when he tore up against all the legends, his art was never in it. The guy just did it for the money, right? Yeah. Like, and then when he left and came back, he still did it for the money. Like he never really had a time where he was like, "Yeah, I love wrestling."
But back then he had a little bit more going. But now I feel like when I look at it, I'm just like, I don't really care about Brock in the ring. Like I really don't. He just kind of seems washed up to me right now. Like he hasn't done anything significant in the past few years for me to care. It's That's kind
true.
of like
that is true.
Okay.
It's like literally as if like they were getting Undertaker to come to AEW.
It could for Brock Lesnar. It could possibly be like
it would. I mean, listen. If this was under a younger Taker, I think we can say
no. We're talking
Taker.
about recent. We're talking about recent. And Ricardo, you know this as a fitness trainer. You know this too. If you don't train it, you lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got that muscle memory, and if you're not really using it, it's gonna take you at least a good minute to kind of get back to restore restoration.
Yeah, and possibly for Brock Lesnar, it could be Father Time.
She got it.
Yeah,
she got it. She got it.
It is
it's Father Time, bro. Father Time is undefeated.
Because I mean, look at Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy like literally changed himself, went on a diet, worked out. Look at Edge. Went on a diet, worked out, went back into it.
Oh, I don't give a damn about Edge. That's your boy.
He got it. No, but I'm talking about physically for him to hang. That's what he got. Like WWE, he got away with it because they scripted every match. AEW was different because these guys, not only do they all have talent, but they all bring in like technicalities and all this other shit that you need to be able to have a good amount of cardio to kind of keep up with.
Yeah.
Even as a powerhouse.
There's no question about that. No disagreements there.
Signed, sealed, delivered. Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah. So the next coming news actually happened today. So it's
what?
Did we lose him?
It's been reported that Ronda Rousey has been training for an in-ring return.
I don't see you, bro.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Hold on. 1 second. You see me now?
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's been confirmed. I actually found out today that Ronda Rousey has been training for an in-ring return. There's been social media buzz on Twitter with pictures of her, JTG, Ronda Rousey's daughter, and 2 other trainers training inside of a wrestling. Huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You didn't know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a new baby or like an older one?
She's old, like our age. Like she's grown.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's on you. That's your fault.
That's your fault. I can't help.
Keep going, Richard.
So her, JTG, Roddy Piper's daughter, and 2 other trainers has been training her for an in-ring return. Now, the question is, starting with Kenny, is Ronda Rousey the saving grace for WWE?
Yes, she is. She is, and I hate to admit it, but yes. There's no one else that you could possibly acquire right now that we would care about. There's no one in the world today. Except if you could get Kenny Omega or Cody back, but besides that, like there's no one in the world that you can possibly acquire that would. Okay, well maybe if John Cena comes up, but outside of that, there's no one else that you can acquire that would make a big splash like that. They desperately need a revamp in the females division. They desperately need it. And you're gonna get that with Ronda Rousey. So hopefully this isn't something that we can just brush off. Hopefully she's not teasing us. Hopefully this is true. Because if it is, watch out.
Yeah. For Ronda Rousey, I got to admit, like, the WWE needs her. The WWE needs her because, like, since she's training once again to possibly make a return, and like Kenny said, I hope this is not a tease. If it is, I'll be tight. But like, because like, as of right now, WWE is getting into a phase where like, I know all of y'all have seen it, but like they're getting into a phase where like they're trying different, they're doing the same shit but differently in a way that is grasping our attention. Like, look at all this stuff that we literally just talked about in this podcast. We talked about Dominic, right? A second generation star in Rey Mysterio that has the potential to possibly surpass his father, Rey Mysterio, and Eddie Guerrero. We just talked about Roman Reigns not too long ago, about last week, about how his different persona is grabbing the attention of us in terms of WWE. And now you got Ronda Rousey making a possible in-ring return in WWE, in which she's the one person in the world that the wrestling world severely misses. They want to know what her next move will be, especially in WWE. So, like, she will elevate the WWE once she returns and bring in more viewers than before in terms of making a return. Yo.
I just want to say that one rookie year really got you, huh?
Yeah, it did. No, anyway, like, oh, shut up. I know what you're getting from me. Shut up. But like, whatever. I still think whatever.
I heard it loud and clear, man.
You know what?
That was profound.
You know what?
Profound.
If people watching this don't remember, we had a debate about who had the best rookie year about Lesnar and Ronda Rousey. I said Brock Lesnar, my homegirl Tara, and Kenny. Well, Kenny betrayed me, but like Kenny agreed it was Ronda Rousey. She had a great rookie year. I ain't knocking.
Betrayed you? I never was on your side on that one. Okay.
Well, whatever. You're my boy. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
But
okay. Yes, I'm supposed to agree with you, right?
But like,
he wasn't your boy on that episode, though.
No, whatever. Let's get back to the conversation. Ronda Rousey is the #1 superstar that is needed for the WWE to make a comeback. Go ahead.
No, I agree. It is exactly what me and Kenny said when we went back to that argument. relevance, like she is what made the women's division relevant. And even after that, like once she left, it was severely lacking. There was like nothing for them to do, like literally nothing. Becky Lynch had no competition. Charlotte had no competition. No one cared about any other matches in the women's division, but people cared about Ronda. And there was only a story and there was only drama if Ronda was there. And without Ronda in the equation, no one gave a shit about the women's division. So yeah, it's much required. I really do hope she comes back. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
She did say, though, she said in this word for word, she said, if I ever do come back, it will never ever be at a full-time capacity ever again. She says, I'm much an obsessive person where I like to obsess over something for a certain time and then take some time to obsess about something else. But
So
I'm never
she's
gonna be
a part-timer.
Yes, she also said pretty much get the Brock Lesnar treatment for the females.
But you know what?
I'll
will
be cool
say
with
that she needs it.
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
She needs it because the reason why I would say that is because when she was a full-timer, as bad as she was on the mic and all this other, like, I mean, she did really good in ring and stuff, but she didn't have that mental capacity to handle like that heat and that like limelight. Like she didn't, because when people were like criticizing her, like she would literally like take it personally. And I don't think she was really cut out for being back into that area in life. So I think for her, as far as like personal reason, like I think part-time makes great sense.
Yeah, her being a part-timer, it's like that's the best role for her, right? She doesn't have to do much except elevate the big four, which is where where your main event stars shine, right? That's when it's smart if she returns and becomes a part-timer, that's where you need to utilize her most, because like the Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series, that's where you need your big time stars the most, and that's where it uplifts the main event spotlight in terms of the big four to its full potential. So I will have no problem if she becomes a part timer.
So do you think that?
I mean,
sorry, Kenny.
Go ahead.
So do you think that since she's preparing herself for her in-ring return, do you think she could return by this year's Survivor Series in November?
No.
I think she's gonna take the rest of this year off. Honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Take the rest of the year off. If I would say,
2020 is a wash, bro.
Huh?
2020 is a wash.
Exactly. If you want to say when to return, it's the Rumble. It's the Rumble.
Honestly, I think she's gonna return full capacity when they actually have live shows, where people can attend again.
Yeah, I see that happening as well, especially with the fact that Vince wants live fans to come back for the Rumble, especially the Rumble, because the Rumble is like literally out of the big four. It's the Rumble. The Rumble is the one period that actually needs fans, like 100%, because it's the Rumble. So the fact that Ronda could definitely possibly return at the Rumble, win it, go to Mania, and so on and so forth, the story writes for itself.
Well, to be honest with you, if she wins the Rumble, I don't want her to. Besides Becky Lynch and possibly Asuka, there is nobody I want her to face in the main roster. I want her to face people in NXT.
Baszler.
Oh, Baszler. My fault.
Like,
I forgot about that.
You forgot about her.
I did. But like,
honestly,
besides those three,
I want to see Baszler and her go up against Charlotte and Becky. That's what I really want to see.
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Yeah, but Becky messed it up because she got pregnant. Becky messed it up by getting pregnant. So like it's not really.
That was the initial plan. That was the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What could have been, man? What could have been?
Yeah, and plus, since Becky is due in December, her maternity leave will most likely be
No, that
2 to 3
doesn't count
months.
for wrestlers. That
No,
does not count for wrestlers. That does not count for wrestlers. If I'm pregnant and
Exactly,
I'm
because
popping
they're
out a
not
baby, I'm
actual
taking my sweet
employees.
ass time to come
They
back.
are independent contractors. They're independent contractors, right, guys?
Yes, they're independent contractors. That's
Oh
one of
my
the most.
God, what
And
a
even
little
still,
bull.
and
Shit.
even it doesn't really
My
apply.
God.
Like, they're fucking rich as fuck. My baby daddy is Seth Rollins. You think I'm gonna come back to work my ass off after I pop a baby? Like,
Facts.
no,
Yo,
no.
that's a
My
fact,
man
yo.
makes millions. Like we're
Seth
good.
Seth Rollins is one of the top stars in the WWE. Why the fuck Becky Lynch she does not need to make a return. She needs to she could chill out, sip her wine,
She
do
she
what
does
you
not need
gotta
to,
do.
But back to that Ronda Rousey thing though. If because the way I see it, if she's returning part-time, it only means that she's gonna be the proverbial, a band-aid for whatever problem they have. So it's a short-term solution. And that kind of changes everything. It does, because the way you book the division, but it's good in the sense that you have this kind of rotating pieces, right? Where she can go through the division, but not just like that, not instantly, right? As if, like, if she were full time, she'd go through the division pretty fairly easily, like in about 5 or 6 months. But
Honestly,
with
I
this
wouldn't
plan,
mind
you can kind of write her in a story. And I know Vince's story, right? That spans 6 months, in a matter of which she, destroys her opponent, once in a while when she comes back, just like Brock Lesnar does.
in all honesty, I do see NXT has some stars that I think could fare really well if they actually build them up. Like, one of the people that I think that could actually be a really good female superstar, I actually think Rhea Ripley could be a really good one, along with Bianca Belair. But I mainly say Rhea Ripley because Rhea Ripley is 23, 24, and she's not bad. She's really not that bad. She's charismatic. She's not bad in ring, and even she can cut decent promos, better than half the women that's on the main roster. So I feel like working with someone like Ronda, or even with someone like Natalya, because Natalya is the one that actually trained Ronda, that wouldn't be a bad thing to build up someone that's a Rhea Ripley, and bring in more females that are like that.
Okay, I agree with that.
Because that's not a bad angle if you're a part-timer. Oh, and also, I thought you said Ronda Rousey's daughter. That's why I was just like,
Yeah.
No, I said Roddy Piper.
He said Piper's daughter. He said Piper's daughter.
Oh, I was like, that's why I was like, she had a baby?
I said Piper. Roddy Piper.
I was like, oh, that's why she
I
was
think
there.
I should also point. We should also point out that Ronda left to have a baby, but guess what?
She ain't knocked up.
It was actually all right. She ain't not, and it was actually her rival Becky that ended up having a baby. So, isn't that going to be interesting for a storyline? Maybe,
Nah,
just
I don't think
maybe.
that should. I don't think
I'm
that should
just
be a storyline.
saying. I'm just saying the cards are there.
No,
Look,
This
no,
is
I don't think that should be a
stupid
storyline.
that Vince would do.
I'm with
This is
Kenny
exactly
on this
what
one.
he do.
I'm with Kenny on this
This is
one because I'm like,
WWE.
exactly, because if they
But I'm saying I feel like for her that's a very touchy subject, and I feel like as far as with a lot of women and their fertility, as far as that, I don't think that should be something that should really be any kind of rival story, because you never know.
You're right.
Honestly,
You're right.
You're right,
You're
but the thing is,
right.
wait,
but
didn't
Vince.
they do that?
It's
But
Vince.
didn't they? Go ahead, Kenny.
It's Vince. It's Vince.
It's Vince.
Come on, guys. It's Vince.
But I'm saying you can't say if you can't be partnered with someone it's the partnerships, you know what I mean? You're partnered with one of the biggest breast cancer awareness foundations and stuff like that. You can't talk about women's fertility issues as one of your main storylines. That literally is that's, I think that's a little bit too emo. Like that's not
Oh,
drama at that
Tara,
point.
you
It's kind of like
you underestimate Vince, man. You.
But I'm saying you're
I'm glad
underestimating
you give
how
him the
much
benefit of the
Fox,
doubt, though. I'm glad you
and
give him
I
the
don't think
benefit of the
Fox
doubt.
is gonna go for that either.
Well, the thing,
Oh,
well,
really?
it's like this. It's like this.
Really?
With
Okay.
Vince,
All right.
hold
This
on.
isn't Pix 11. This is Fox.
Hold
Oh
up.
no, listen, this is Fox, man.
Look,
Nothing is
look,
off the
in terms of Vince, and you said in terms of the pregnancy issue like that. Last time I checked, I remember the time when he did that. That was with Lita, Matt Hardy. No, it was with Lita, Kane, and Edge. Right? I remember that.
But that was that then.
No. It doesn't matter if it was back then. It doesn't matter.
No, it does. It does.
No,
it's the
it
same
doesn't.
thing with
No,
Becky-
it
no,
does.
but it's the
It
same
does.
thing with-
It does
it's
matter.
the same thing
It does
with
matter. If
content.
you're
Like, you
going
can't
PG,
steal
yeah,
out
it does
the
matter.
All right.
You can't
if
steal
you say,
the same content that you did back then.
okay,
Like that
but
you can
all
now.
right, but in terms of what Kenny's saying, the fact that it's Vince, I think Vince will be able to do whatever it takes. He's that type of guy to do whatever it takes. Because like Jeff Hardy just had a drinking problem, and they used that for his storyline. That's personal, and they still use that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I mean,
if he's willing to do that, he's willing to do this with the pregnancy shit.
But I feel like they'll take jabs at it, but they're not gonna make a storyline like you had a baby and I did it. That sounds so like boring.
I know. But hey, listen, you can't put it past Vince, man. I'm just saying.
I think it's just better. Like they still have their feud or whatever that they've been had. But I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Because Becky Lynch probably might not even come back. Like I said, if I had a baby.
Real talk. I don't think she's coming back, and I don't think she should. I wouldn't. The fuck out of here. Wrestling. What's wrestling? If you're married to Seth Rollins.
This made millions before she left, and now she's married, and now she's pregnant by Seth Rollins, who's a multimillionaire. She's not coming back.
I'm like, sis, you're getting paid millions just to chill. Who would not want to do that? You feel me? And she got Seth Rollins, like Tara said, who is arguably the #1 star in WWE. Arguably. Getting paid the big bucks. She's gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. All right, let's wrap up. We Gucci.
Yeah. So on that note, that concludes.
I gotta watch One Piece. Hurry up.
All right.
Did you read the new chapter?
Yo,
No. You don't talk about this later.
Yeah.
Listen. On that note, we'll end this week's episode with. On that note, we'll end this week's episode with episode 35 on the Wrestling Hypothesis. Catch us next week on both Wrestling Hypothesis Extra and our next episode of the Wrestling Hypothesis podcast. Until then,
wait, before you finish the show, we are, I mean, dead serious. I think Tara and Kenny will agree on this. We will make a podcast for you anime lovers out there. You feel me? Our One Piece fans, Dragon Ball Super, or Attack on Titan. What else?
7 Deadly Sins.
My Hero.
My Hero Academia.
We'll
Demon Slayer.
Let's go.
Watch me, Kenny, and Tara. We're gonna do it real soon. We got you. Okay? We got you. Right?
Finer Things Club coming to you soon.
The Finer Things Club podcast coming soon to a podcast near you. Me, Kenny, and Tara. Okay? That's the big announcement that I wanted to say for us anime lovers out there. Watch. It's gonna happen, especially for us One Piece fans. Watch. We're gonna talk about it real soon. Coming soon in 2021. Watch.
Take care, guys.
Deuces.
Later.